So the other day, I found out that you can buy these head units for bench power supplies. They're made by Riden. I got this from AliExpress. This is a 60 volt, 30 amp head unit. And because I have some power supplies left over from some CNC projects, and I got a fun little plug in here that uses a standard ATX power cord. I think I'm gonna take the best one that I have, which is this one, and I'm gonna make a power supply out of it, a bench power supply. So, next up, I should design some parts so that I can make the inserts of the ends out of 3D printed PLA. And then I figure I'll make the actual box out of 1/4 inch ply or something. All right, so here we are. Let's go ahead and start punching out what I think this will need. I think it needs to be 4 inches tall, which is 101 millimeters, roughly. Let's go 7.5 inches wide, 191. Here we go. Now this is where it actually starts to matter. For the width of the head unit, it will be 160 160.3, 160.4. There we go. Height wise, that's 74.5, so call it 75. 74.8. There we go. Right. Turn off dimensions. Move it a little bit. Make those equal. All right. Let's look at the corners. They need to be nice and sharp. That's fine. From the edge of the corner to the outside is 2.5 millimeters, 2.7 millimeters. Nice. That'll work. For depth wise, I want to make this 32 millimeters. There we go. All right, nice. Now here's the part where we get to put the little notches that'll hold the front panel in. So the center of the notch is 4.8 millimeters from the surface. The notches are 12 millimeters in height. And we should probably have them 4 millimeters wide. Sounds good to me. Oh, and from the edge, 7.3. So I said they were 7.3 from the edge, 7.5 from the edge. So let's make it a little bit bigger. So 7.3 from the top edge. They're just going to be a simple little square. This. And if you see me doing something wrong, definitely put it down in the comments because I'm not a pro at this. I'm just a home gamer. This is the kind of thing that I do because, well, it's kind of fun and hey, we all get to learn doing something, right? Now, I said that was the edge of that square was, call it 7, just because, you never know. And then from the front face, call it 3. Oh no, did I screw that up already? No, I didn't. I don't think I did. Yeah, I kind of did. Needs to be tall and narrow. So for depth on that, width on that, let's just do 3.5 millimeters. And for the width on that, it needs to be 12.5. There we go. I don't know what I was thinking. There are not that many. There's only 2 on each side. All right. All right. There's that side. And I think it only needs to be 2 millimeters, 2.2 millimeters deep. Nice. Now, what I can do, I can edit that feature, add that one too. Nice. Here, edit that sketch. Never mind, that's not what I wanted to do. See, this is how you know I'm professional, because I make mistakes. Shit, did I say those were 12.5 millimeters? I think so. Not that it's critical. what did I say? 12 and a half by 3. Ah, okay, it was 7. I don't know what the heck I was doing. 12 and a half by 3 and a half by 3. 7 off from the side. Okay. $3.5. $7. All right. Um, I'm also not going to mold in, or I'm not going to print in the holes for the screws on the outside. I'm just going to use some short screws, and I'll just screw it right in with just the wood screw itself. All right, so I went ahead and I saved it, and I figured out what I'm going to do with the next one. And essentially, for the power supply rear, I'm just going to make a cutout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete, I'm going to work off the front one so that it's the same as the front. I don't have to redo that part of it. And delete. All right. So now this outside edge is going to be identical. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete the inside. And on this one, because I want the power supply exhaust to not even have any plastic around it, I'm just going to make a square that's 125 by 66. So what we'll do, come here. There we go. Take our trim, just like that. So that is 27.8 by 47 and a half. Let me double check that because I can never seem to keep it straight. So I said 27 and a half, 27.8 by 47 and a half. Okay, there's that. Nice. Pull off that. Let's see what the flange on that one side is, just so that I make sure that I'm going to clear it. That is 12 millimeters. So I need a 12 millimeter space. Perfect. And then all the way around, I want this to be, it needs to be at least 12 millimeters thick. All right. So what we can do then, actually I don't even need it to be that big. I can do 6. And I'm just doing this so that I don't have to print as much material. So I can leave this to be 6 millimeters thick, and then I can make this to be 12 millimeters thick. Because I only need this area to screw the power plug into. So what we'll do, honestly, and I don't really like where that is, so. There we go, that's a little bit better. This is all just to preference. Actually, I can even make that about 15. That works. I like that a little bit better. Just so I don't have to worry about potentially getting it into, actually that's 6 millimeters, 5, 9. On that edge, I think I had, yeah, I need, make it 18. There we go. There we go. And I got over 12 on that side too. Excellent. All right. So first up, it's both of these for 6 millimeters. Actually, no, that's not what I want to do. Do this one for 6 millimeters. And do this one for, I think I said 12. There we go. Bam. The power plug screws into this side, and the power supply sits over here and has its exhaust over here. Nice. All right. So next up, we're going to go ahead and slice it and send it over to the printer. All right, so I know it's only been a few seconds for you, but here we go. I went ahead and I saved them as STLs. Go ahead and don't think it's going to matter very much about, oh yeah, that's true. That one will need, that one will definitely need to be down. We'll go ahead. And I use an Ender 5 Plus. It might not necessarily be the best printer out there, but it does work. It has an enormous print volume, which is fantastic because I wind up doing a lot of stuff like this. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and flip this around because just to minimize XY movements. 210, 65, I'm just printing in PLA. Cooling is fine, print is fine. I like doing a brim just because it helps it helps purge a little bit. I use the brim as a bit of a purge. Oh, shoot. Do not need to do 100% infill. I'd say a 30% infill is pretty good on these parts. Also, we don't need to do, we can do 0.2. Go ahead and slice. Hey, there we go. And it'll be done tomorrow sometime. Actually, I think, let's go 20% and see if I can trim anybody. Trim some time off. Oh, hey, there you go. Knocked a little bit of time off by dropping 10%. All right. So I'm going to get the printer set up and get it to start printing. Next time you'll see in just a second is when these are printed. And about 14 hours later, it is done. Isn't it beautiful? Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. Next thing you'll see is me putting this together. Actually, I figured I probably ought to give these a test fit. So here is the power plug that uses a standard ATX power supply cord, and it's got a nice little switch on it, and I am going to have to replace that fuse because I think it's only a 10 amp fuse. But take a look. Ha ha ha. Look at that. Like a glove. Nice. Just whip a couple of screws into there and that'll be all right. So here we go. There's that one. All right. Here is this one. Here's the front, and here's the controller. I don't know if I showed this one yet. All right, let's see. Oh, nope. I'm gonna have to do some mods on it. So there we go. Nice. A little bit of mods, she'll be ready to go. All right, this is a couple of days later, and the print came out pretty good. I do need to trim just a hair. This piece fits around the power supply pretty well, but on the front side, I'm about 1/10 of a millimeter too small, even though I oversized it. So, fun times. All right, so this, it doesn't fit. It no work. So, just get this flashing off. All right, take my word for it. That did not take a copious amount of grinding to make that fit. And this is why you should make things the right size the first time. It is a very snug fit, and I'm going to be putting it in, quote, backwards. I'm not going to be using those little clips because it's that tight of a fit, and I feel like being able to actually get it apart. And then I also cut a notch in both sides so that if I need to, I can use a screwdriver to pry it apart. All right, off to actually cutting the sides. Whew, that sucked. All right, so after a bunch of grinding and sanding and cutting, and there you go. You get the idea here. And yeah, we'll go ahead and put her together like that. The lower box part, I'm just going to glue and needle nail. And then the top is going to get, I'm going to use these as rails, cut them to length, and use some screws to put the lid on it. And let's just say that they're brass because that is not the only screw that I could find. Perfect. All right, now that they're the same length, we can go ahead, and this one is going to sit on top like that. So all we got to do is set it between them. Ah. I got her a little proud on that, but that'll sand off. There we go. The needles will hold that in place while the glue dries. Oop, got a little tiny bit of a gap there. The nice part about this being a bench power supply is the only person that's ever going to use it doesn't get to complain about the person that did it. And to be completely honest, this whole thing's probably going to wind up with a coat of paint. Oh, son of a bitch. Yep, I did that wrong. One of those needs to go like that. Damn. That is what happens when you're not paying attention. Fuck. It always amazes me how effective needles are at holding things together. And when you screw them up, how much of a pain in the ass they are to get apart. There we go. It's almost like it never happened. Kinda. We'll put that on the inside. There we go. Now they're opposite. Why didn't I do that the first time? Oh, wait. All right. Got plenty of needles. All right. And I think that what we can do to hold these up is put a little bit of, use the front as a brace and just clamp on that. I think that'll work. Oh well. All right, we'll just do it a different way then. Flip this up. All right, just like that. Here we go. And I'll go ahead and trim those off. But it looks like it's going to work. All right, here's one side. Next up is this one. Yay! Here we go. A little bit off on that side, but I'm not worried about it. Like I said, the only person that gets to complain about this is the person that's going to use it. So there's that one, like that. And like that. All right, good deal. So I'm going to go ahead and let that cure. It'll just be a second for you. So I didn't realize how long this video was going to be, so I'm going to go ahead and split it into 2 parts. And if you'd like to see the rest of the build, go ahead and click on the linked video that's the second part of this. Have a good one.